So video I remember the first system network which I worked on, and then we had really Google a workplace right? And then done that. And so coming back, take that. They were going around on changes and to keep on changing. Time for time, progress, to technology that you are in. That was never seen, in the changes that you share. Because it is because in part of it, you communicate, work, do everything. So it is a case technology from what is wrong. So the famous thing which used by someone or it was he is sometimes being called as father marketing. So he was a member of the parliament, an educator, a business man, did not I think this particular statement is left in what we call the data. And it takes about 100,000 years now. 100,000 years now. So today we'll be studying on how it moves on. Today also, we don't expect anything interesting that like the fibers of the Quran, whatever is there, what getting excited. But everyone should be someone without or probably any of it when you present whatever you say does not have data, uh, then you just another person. Here God with all famous statement is the chart. Visit Google's California office. Office in the section you will find masters. It is ourselves. Yeah. But as you observe, you will find that how so let's see that dot on a second note. So this was something in a minute. 150 what content today 2000 high, 100 high. This one, here some of the seven numbers. These who have 1 million dollars, 3.8 million people research. 2,500 spread tweeting, 3,000 for Instagram. Let's find 2,000 hours of pure work of work. Multiple companies, 2,000 hours of $2 less. All right. So 2020 came to feel that there were 1.3 million. Only it was 1.8. Now it is 1.2. So it was a little bit traffic. Whereas if you can change like Instagram or Twitter, couple of 100% strike had happened. So 20, I think, you can only see practical how Instagram is 2005. Why? When you expect the war for the Twitter is going by Instagram. 2020 to 21 was the so typically, ultimately, was the first year of COVID 2020, 2021. So, most people they were online. So, you can see that some salad words are working on. And then, as we move towards 2023, some new channels have come out. Example, on the breakfast, and someone there, ChatGPT. Think about people, some people that I comments back in 2024. So as with 24, then of 5, I'm talking now the here when it comes. The interesting fact is what when we talk about things like ChatGPT, these are of the AI or natural concept of statement of the data AI data. Right? So what exactly is the goal of will people into this whole aspects of AI? Let's look at what exactly are the goals of AI. First is how do you create an AI? What goes into the creation of artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence has its heart where we try to understand and use the principles of human intelligence and human intelligence, yeah, whatever way things we take decision, we heard. So when we coordinate fast or some of those things, AI can be able to change. This probably what you use the right word. So, in fact, that we have that for AI is to perfect or channel it to nature structure or nature structure. It looks like even the natural intelligence that we have. This is the very valuable. Rather than putting the request to some find or hide a task, tedious task, what is dangerous task, what can be done and AI can be used to this level of stress. Okay, when it comes to start very interesting is which is the car. So running on for the fuel of the car. On top of the car, you have after this particular part, the pilot test. On top of this, the one which is smart is only called this particular part. So this is basically the brain which is writing this part is by the it called called the return. So this is what writes this particular car. If you think of a car which is right now, which is parked on the street, the public of full kind of so there's a human driver which is making it. But this particular car being on the street is being automatically by artificially intelligence or AI. How does the card know that how to go about it? The AI starts with some first we need to think of a card or a street. This card that should abide by these laws which have been within the society for a client. First law is obvious. Here's the problem goal how has fight training of being in moving or being in stationary right fight on the why? Because if you want to become it can be possible. Second principle is that anything which probably use as moving demonstrates this quickly. Right? Because if you try something moving, it will increase the impact like that is one. Two, that the something which was something here also of life, in the human life, in the time. So life was always fine reserved. Also, rather, life was fine reserved. Let's see, obviously, the rules are there. For example, whenever there is a red light, car should start. Whenever there is problem, some kind of a green light, is the time the car should move by on the street. So this kind of a simple rules are here, which is behind the running car. In spite of this rules being in the force, for a company like ours, it has in fact read this particular car when actually it was good. And that is happened. Obviously, the advanced electricity came after DI. DI's needles, DI's access, energy. This instance which I'm talking about, so, 2007, when Google read this diagram of calculus after the last what? Finding out more information was powerful. And what happened was that here was this Google car, and on the other hand side, here was car was a big signal. And the two cars divide closer. So here is where the real car is running, and here is where the human car is running. Now this Google car it is being driven by artificial intelligence. What is major was that okay, at the speed at which I'm moving, what is my chance or time that the other car? The car found by the found that it is taking. So what is that was it was continuing journey, but this particular car was driven by itself. He saw this car getting it. And the driver out there, driver thought that okay, why allow the other car to ahead of me? He speeded up, he in fact calculated went wrong and then the standard solution. Thankfully, no one was killed. But that is what is the example of how the victims will be victims. And by the way, this particular behavior was what? By this is behavior of sometimes those right methods saying that we are pretty we are probably the greatest nation which sometimes also suffer medical decision and that is where more modern starts. So this is a concept of how users can so AI. Yeah. So some people will say that AI are great methods of life and right. And what is the way in which you can do that? There's something called the Stewardship approach. And the Stewardship approach previously by not now but some 60-65 years back. And someone was Alan Turing. So what it said was that if let's say you are for someone, and in the front of the you have this curtain in front of me. And behind the curtain can be a somewhere what is watch. Human is there in front of the concept. You have to recognize that human for one. With the human, we are unable to distinguish that whether someone who is on the human side of the circuit, whether it's a machine or it's a human, then this particular machine must think to have tasked that the body computer should have been right? I can tell you that now in this particular age of AI, in the age of ChatGPT, people of this nation, we have actually successfully qualified the really talking about the cooking intelligence, experience, understand what class. And when I say intelligence, this is intelligence from the point of law. So what we do for when things, right, we become so many things, and then to the process, we learn, we do some actual things from the process, we comprehend what we must have to plan ahead, solve problems, and this is how we solve. So human beings also 200 years back, and a human being now, in terms of intelligence, we are not. I'm pretty sure because we have evolved a lot in the last 400 years. And whatever incremental changes that happen, our change they get involved with all the ownership. So that's how, as a species, we are in a fascinating together. So, what is that is unshaping and nature of using the computers that can control automation of activity, reasoning, and thinking, and sometimes people are even saying that AI is recommending that can perform what can do. The definitions are there. So, the main thing which the AI scientists deadline like that, it's kind of a communication what connected to self, and it may have it is possible to have the user to perceive like user. So, yes, what makes the best AI system? We wanted to know what exactly what I got. So, what's the responsibility line of a profit? That's what AI. On the right hand side of the system, you can find out some of the platforms which are there. On the middle quadrant, I'm seeing some of the techniques. And the techniques are exploration for voice, vision, machine learning. These are some of the things described. Right? And as time goes on, the last few years, we have done tremendous improvement in understanding the natural language, in deciphering the voice, vision, and think about it. Years back, when you are starting writing, let's say this Google Assistant or your Alexa asking you, the institution which it is selected, I'm sure that it is taken in English that it was not this kind of information. Natural language processing, understanding of language, and getting out some meaningful responses. You find that us using the ChatGPT is quite system. We have the ChatGPT, we have Gemini, we have this Claude, and then there are books of systems. But each of the systems, the way in our company has information and give and output, we are processing that and we have to display that in the instruction. We are going to have a small or a cost of answer towards the stakeholder. So that's an capability. It's also the almost an exclusive that we have noted and something is something quite offering. Deep learning are the ones which can solve very difficult answers with brilliant when thought to be unsolvable by machines. So people who uses let's see this things like Facebook, or even Google software, you find that automatically your features may not get added without you even being able to. So all has to use that data. And then on the internet side, we find that there is a new opportunity to all this big data. Big data from the English that kind of data which probably get calculated that is incremental in terms of the size, dimension, velocity, all this information. Think of ourselves. At this point in time, all of us in this particular nation, you're talking what you need on this particular screen. At the same point in time, you are also on this on the slide. Maybe you have your video some messages of the message in the particular passage. And you can also look at the translation. Like, what way, do what way. You have some sort of business for how much time you have to stay in this particular way. So all the things we are doing with your mind. And whatever you have what you actual with that is basically a sum total or integration all the people which are on your head at your point of time. And basically by your understanding, by your interest, whatever it is, you are probably going some kind of a prioritization of that. This is what you are going to do. And typically this is also how you would want the AI system to handle. So I was talking about the big data. So big data again, what you have term as a chair for the last about 2 years. So when we talk about this big data, these things are not so very common. So big data is not only about data. It's also things like storage, complex analytics, internet, different technologies, and databases, networks, all these things comprises of myself in databases like this. Now, talk about which menus which on the screen you can see the picture of the Northwest over there. And Northwest has been there for almost the last more than 8 years or so. It's only for the last few years, the last 30 years or so, we have started collecting the data of all this office. Typically, to give an idea that how much has we are with now. Each digit of European, typically, European has each digit is about 20 terabytes of per hour. The two engines are there, they are 40 terabytes. And average duration of this life is about 12.5 hours. So that means that okay, just one side is to generate about 100 terabytes. So 100 terabytes. How big is 100 terabytes? Most of you don't carry your laptops. Your laptop, typical laptop, is having a 1 terabyte of hard disk space. So some hundreds of hard disks will get filled up. Only the matter of 5.5 hours per day. Become 1 terabyte. And that typically I'm talking about. There are up to about 20,500 commercial flights. United States and United States. 365 days a year. It's an amount of information and which gets generated. So this is in fact 1041 million gigabytes. 1041 million gigabytes. So if you would store more of data, typically you require about 141 million hard disk of the capacity that you're having to go to the order. So why we require this AI? Why what to do with this AI business? Why does it go? One is business is looking at reports, the productivity, revenues, this so that they are not collected as a good time. was the plan you were graphic in your AI system. Revenue and towards the cost operational economy don't reflect all the costs out there. Many of them we get there that are in there. Increase the productivity, reduce the risk of the platform. So let me talk about that. First, what requires AI, big data, quite for right now it's market leader. It keeps up the so let's talk about as a company has always been the using cutting-edge technology as well as this is the breed of financial institutions out there. The Netflix, all know Netflix is getting completely operating capabilities, and this is what it took us. Who's watching, and based on that, the kind of profiles of right? So the left side will see basically some profiles like the dad, kid, and on the right hand side, right, and then I can some dashes or some and see on the right hand side, I see your picture. If you look at the pictures, you find that the one thing like range, Africa, like stone wood, black, banana. Think about it. The probably about some kind of a young again. Someone who's probably between 12 and 20 for whom this has been. Just looking at the how I can come with this reality. Yeah, everything there, even I can give you a very interesting right? I think I telling you conversation. So this was the first one that we called them movie, right? Some 2 years back, 4 years. And I had a big background. And typically I try to navigate with the channel. My wife was 20 years of game Netflix at all. But she watches Netflix from Amazon country. And it was this particular afternoon I was came to the college, right? One of the days for some work, which were not there. So when I was trying my iPad, so what I did, yeah, saw that it has recommended a company called Saving Private Life. It was also on notice. So me and wife went with one college. One I had seen one of the together. And I watched my movie completely from the outcome. I called up my wife and told her that we saw this movie from the same of something 5 years back. Was streaming. And it was a clear shot. She was about 3 and she said, I was not the sound. So I came back home. Was browsed for Amazon party for the particular product. I was surprised to see that the image which was made so much worse was very different compared to the image which I had. My came image was what is going on and was planning various makers and this kind of a interesting. In her case, it was an image picture of this all lovers departing after the answer that why was there? Why not take that why that's for me? Uh, it was the same, what happened. First he did. And then I went, I went back. And we read about complex features of what kind of technology it could do the same. Quite surprised what I saw that Netflix has gone on to a level where the customized picture on this big task being shown to the user based on the person of honest. So I'm someone who loves with screens, theaters, wife on the other hand, like, and she probably will comment on coming from the cargo at the studio, airport, she always two lovers, and what happened. So this is about great has visited more than 90 per year. 100 years videos are what per week and what it does is not that plus a lot of algorithms, a lot of AI are why? Because Netflix knows that there are so many options in the market. Someone does not like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney, or Apple TV, Hulu, so many options. Anywhere, what is biggest point is to convince the user that it is satisfied with any movie or shows. Or it is supposed to bring and the user should bring one. And that's all the AI is happening. Predict the customer's behavior, train of customers, to process algorithms to understand that what the customer is like, not like. And that's why people who are subscribers will find that whenever it's descriptive, being some kind of recommendation will be many a time. Yes, and after this class, you will reach the line, find or find, you ask, so this is what Netflix does. After that, it is having a subscriber base and it basically takes a fee from the subscriber house. So more subscribers, more more the business policy. So what Netflix always tries to promise is that first is that subscribe to subscribers, then he tries to convert it any customers, and then third and most important one, pay the customer. So it takes a lot of time to extract that converting customer. Once that has happened, retaining the customer is very important. And then all these algorithms and all the supply are showing you the trailers that some is the some which you might like. Fine, take your friend, take from something very simple. That's what the AI is doing. Asking so that subscribers like parents get might have the dislike of the thing. Netflix, so today, this is the Monday afternoon. And the first thing we just trying to do is the question. Right? Is the one the movie about the movie you like, popular movies, or probably science fiction, or maybe the superhero films. So what kind of a thing you are into? So yes, what can we try? You like no problem. So let's say at this point in time, seminar is going on. Many of you are taking a lot of course viewers and laptop. So seminar, same point in time, if you're not really interested, my time so using your mobile phone, watch something on it, Netflix or YouTube or so this kind of advice you are inspired. Typically, we think that today is just Monday after. Today it's the most important. Maybe only if you're finding what's something on it. If you're not going to have the time to watch it, right? You have to take a chapter or 15% people will have a lot of time. So we watch a full series or a full show back to back sometimes. That's what we do in our series. So that's what Netflix is trying to do. What day is it? Are you a male or a female or and then from one location you're you go to Netflix and find that top 10 movies in India. Top 10 shows in India. The top 10 shows in India or top 10 shows in India. So just based on your location, so there you are. What can what are you forwarding, you have young kids in your home, the cousin, and somebody comes up, he finally he is watching the TV, particularly movie. He are always interested in theater context of the action. They will ask you to remind that. It's like that. So, what kind of a personality you have? What kind of a life is your having? What kind of a rating are you all these good personality about you, or which components that make you bring in to understand you and become it. What kind of a possible. I know. As you said that we come from problems for extra years. Your professor, you will also probably hear of right? But in our days, we had some negatives of data problem. So where there was an making out there. And if you are a regular customer, don't just particular person in the company will exactly know that what kind of a process that one of who is one and he or she recommend the kind of things that is right for instance. So that was the thing driven was we use our hearts in our understanding and having an understanding. But a company like this, it is collecting so much information about market, trying to do this day in and day out so that you become more loyal on your product. Fine. That's it. Just to give you an idea how kind of a player of something. So let's say that we have programs from the has been watching once like a favorite one picture, right? Or probably is by our phone, I think the so people who have the architecture you can see that they are also like this, see this like the same people probably had watched this also probably already we watched this one time. So very simple kind of rules that you are my customers and your profile is going to impact them. That is with my customers, other customers are my customers. So whatever we have like for something that not problem like and typically the pattern. Next time when you take it, you find that people show I recommended to you the people who has also there's also a small disclaimer which says that associated on you energy and percent, 83% based on your base features in life. But people show you this is a good message. Things have been good Netflix or have a look at it. So behind the fact, this kind of algorithm has been about, right? AI kind of algorithm. And we are one of the thing. You make sure that there is rules and the balance. Okay. So the first about right? Curriculum is process from AI can operation. Right? By the way, you must have heard of kind of solution. All of it, not all of it, sure. So bank companies basically the bank sort of the job. Bank basically is looking at for things like Amazon. These are the companies that were Alphabet, type of Google, companies which form that bank group and Netflix go of the very small company with the Google or Amazon or Microsoft or Meta, but still with heavy all the other systems and to all the AI and all that. So coming back to the whole thing of this now that you think living in real conflict for life absolutely. So what exactly is machine learning? Basically, as you said, that when we as humans, you are able to what matters, we can talk in learn the way in which we behave in any situation. Well, machine is said to have uses and capabilities of solve. With machine learning actually takes kind of a system of methods are the other not example, I was one. So typical cost of registration is the same. Some cost of it, but data is for tax mostly, for example, right now, here has becoming electricity. You're probably everything out, so there is a data pack. It's sometimes usually instruction is that you comment yourself, you tell me about the phone. I generalizing like that because my test objective or whatever are probably very good. So this is a typical spot from differentiation. The same kind of mistakes are what we are also asked our mistakes. In modern civilization, in a complex of one of the things is like every day, right? You get probably some possible hundred or perfect possible. If I start to first all the factors which I have gone through now, I probably would have just fixed two research of paper. Every day I probably spend on earning from $100 million, $200, 1,000 in applicants would like to transfer or work I'm sure that many of you also get the same kind of a change, but yeah, that's the thing. But in fact, there's a very interesting thing as to how this process of very significant. I think it goes back actually to rural that a group of scientists that trying to figure out how they can be the capacity. That's from all this and then this group where we ask read all the ways interesting the right talking about way back, but what have we years back. Right that Google had a limited number of videos, for some few of lot of users. So this scientists define tasks, these emails all the university coming and that this has the gap of the software. You sweat out about my this people decided but I think they're very many people coming from the likes of Harvard, PhDs, and all that they were doing was trying to find out that why there was gap on cost. So when they were almost check out your brain, this manager, can you now, total out, and it was 10%, this is even without I just say that why don't I have a test? You let's do the test, have a test, pass the test, now, but you will pass that, so now that you have successfully passed the test, make sure that you're able to create a create also create of now task of decision making, might make that. Right. So this is I story, right? Actually, research, I guess that was all point. Sometimes make sure that you have got measures by how will improve this kind of information kind of work. Full distribution, all kinds of yeah. Instead of routing these long right? So one of those days, physically to products. Now that's automatically fraud detection. People who have used credit cards, for some people, credit cards also, whenever they probably make a high level kind of high expression, you probably automatically get part of the plan you search for matters. And you make the transaction, you say yes, I can be able to write yes. Yes, have a nice day, and you will. What exactly is happening is that this machine check AI system here. Continuously they are tracking and every transaction is happening. By the way, you can make billions of billions, billions of transactions. Every transaction is transaction. And if there is some kind of a trade that's something like call, for example, just catching hold of it. Okay, others of our like right. Mobile implementation, we already talked about this, like the last year. And that's why 4 years. Why that the vehicles, we have automatic drivers, special type of growth is autonomous cars. What is next one? Point that we spend future network future information is this happens to all your CV, right? The CV, all the processes. That's in our own. Right? Yeah, try to continue that. We can try to compare our brain to that equals that. So our hypothesis is that our brain is on the now of computer, and then what we're trying to push about is that we make these computers more and more intelligent so that the way that we learn the consumer computers we call it. So that many of you are having this question. So we'll open the session for 2 days after the presentation is done and feedback are done. Whether again this computers are managing computers or not, this is not question. It's very common thing to ask. Face this question, the answer is the answer is yes, but we learn higher. That means experiences we happen with experiences in our profession of training. And something in terms of pure processing, we are fast and found pure processing, pure processing. And most of these systems, the algorithms we're talking about, these can be represented by some kind of number. So that means it's not probably not probably required. When I say no, why I'm saying why is because this this computers which we're talking about are things that have been created by us. So it is our logic, our creation, our architecture, which is our example. In some way or the other, recently we are probably at least a few steps ahead of the that's why we are able to create this machine. We have not yet come to the stage now in this computers which are created by us. When that particular time will come, maybe little one will have this have this whether there's a mode of playing coverage or not, but at this point in time, we can safely, we can ensure, we can be happy that we are probably more resilient. So, in terms of AI, artificial intelligence, he is asked like the things right? He first starts with search. If I think about yourself, whenever you're well, a new domain, knowledge, first start by searching for the information. Once you got that knowledge, your logic towards it, then the successful has that knowledge, some form or the other, right? You try to learn that particular context, you use your vision to absorb all the information, and all this thing goes on behind. I mean, modern AI is not here, so as undergraduate, there was already thinking, right? Now that you're here in the system, why particular research, right? Why, what is there? Like that, I wanted to put forward the system for the science, or any other point, instead of making most of things on not. The first thing is that the thing is that not in the life of God. We live in the era of we live in the era of by using all this analytics, what you can do is you can earn a large formation and find out the right kind of information. The thing is that there are so many problems which earlier was very difficult to solve with conventional stuff. It's very good. Right? That's the computer. Why? Because what is that they can access information at a much faster pace compared to us and and secondly, that yes, please take consistency is much more compared to us. We are at contact by some kind of emotion or that is not happening because what we have. And you can see these days too much of information flowing out. And when I look at my mobile phone these days, the amount of information we got, WhatsApp, mobile, these are somebody something that if I talk about the kind of technological skills which we should be having. Earlier it was probably for many people, program, people have problem, people who were only program sites. So these days and to the degradation or destruction. Yeah, because people from all kinds of backgrounds, people from a non-technology background, they are also very well suited to enter this particular country. Those those areas are happening. So let's talk about some wonderful good spaces which AI has here for us here. So what does it organization right? So I'm sure that soon, right? Maybe next 20 years, many of you will be going at the time. Organization is always trying to either increase the revenue or decrease the cost, use the risk, and so on. So first is here we have some kind of key components and the key component indicator what are extent. They will also go in for some kind of process enhancement. They will monitor this particular KPI, doing some kind of a data utilization, hiring goals, right? They will also measure what kind of a different productivity revenue for their sales and finally how we track the business. So this is make us take on some very interesting cases which are around, right? And I'm going to talk about some years which are very interesting for us, which probably actually also. So first use case, when we talk use case of this healthcare. Patient care excellence. The global industry there is more than $6 million industry billion in a large large. There are large money spent. One is for treatment, treating drugs, right? Medicines, and what kind of medicine will work with people uh, in allopathic resources, for example, hospital, right? What kind of a research that you do, where all we have is okay. For the patient, it is a hospital treatment, so that we don't have to be only applicants to hospitals, lowering the overall cost of sector operation, improving industry. All these are there are currently challenges in global. It's not AI, can AI handle like this? What is for customers, for people like us, like us? What is the market treatment outcome? Okay. So whenever we are looking at these days, what is different areas are going to be live step by step, but also so what kind of an outcome that particular traffic they give, right? Whether this outcome of the work on so those kind of a scenarios are something is the AI to comment was the comment. Might have heard might have something called IBM was with also Google. So IBM Watson is right by IBM and it has been used globally in the US, particularly in the US some part of the US. IBM Watson created first that it should have some kind of a reports of a patient, some kind of a let's say reports of blood, X-rays, grabs, MRIs, can effectively that what kind of treatment the patient is providing, what kind of hospitalization is required, what kind of procedures, it gives some very good estimation of the doctor. And obviously, what the human doctor is, but obviously, it is not information. It is of patient data and try to give more clarity to patients, which probably will use systems like this, because the overall cost of healthcare has come down here, but because the insurance that you don't have happening. And sometimes you have to have teaching for the impact of the customers to our target. Now, the skills required from this was still constant because it analysis and allied data and the concept of answers. It can be in the form of let's say visualization or data. It can be consistent numbers of first of it, usually algorithms also versus algorithms of grammar for sequence. Understanding the exact with the data standards and some kind of a as well. So these are quite still quite some part of it is related, some part of it is related. But people who are probably going to technical time, we will probably need to have a combination of all this, all this. Next, let me come and another important figure, which is this explain is the negative. Many of you, I think, I know, I think, right? Was the file session. So for the engineers, I feel that we have got a shop floor kind of a processes. For non-engineers, you can have that. But in shop floor kind of processes, for processes that they typically not language are there. As this nation, they are running make this production stable. Okay, the chance to go there, complete on the large benefits. You have both of them, people of you, you get a chance to do it with the factory, the Britannia factory, the speak here, again, and all for you don't can chocolate on the data factory. I mean, marvels of structure. These days, we are not too many people controlled for the store. Many of it is controlled by machines, by automation, and by AI. Now, talking about this, one of the big problems that let's say in one particular segment or function, this entire assembly line might kill the whole all of the that process stops. So predictive maintenance, what exactly is predictive maintenance? If you have your God, let's say, a car mechanic. So but it just hearing the sound of the car is beating. The mechanic will hear the curve or around of this. So it's taking some other parameters. So let's say your car is or how it is consuming too much control. So mechanical is this kind. What are those? Similarly, that means if you take another machine, it just means what we have done is that we have certain sensors. They have only this machine. What the sensors, the data are such data are kind of the focus system. And this data, which is practical. Whenever it is from trying to know by I think nobody take care of the range maker and range maker this machine will provide. If, for example, if you class people, that's what we have to say, class, so the is making some sound. And if you don't fix it, okay, so the next 2 days, what the same in this car might just be. So that is also the thing, right? The same basic thing. It's right? Just to give you a and first is all those two computers production it is for that is that huge also. As I said, that whenever you have to be always you should find out the point of the increasing breakdown time. As I said, that is a breakdown of the machine. It requires it for steps. So here that you practically might end up in the process because production was for 70% equated to breakdown time. Right, because it is getting the service at the right point at time, the life of the life. And then the situation make it also make it optimal. Maybe it is used can write only a bias where a bias are not producing something perfectly clear. So, manufacturing, let's see like a attention major step. To talk about the impact of the concept. And so you get the customers are getting out of one is that there are use quality cards, very, very hard. The delivery schedule is rather because everything connects the food is right. There is direct problem, direct problem. So I think that I think we can take care of all this other. So yeah. Next is this visual inventory because the visual inventory talk about the bazaar, shopper stock, inventory forecasting becomes of the important. As this particular industry globally will okay. The market size is approximately $26 billion. What AI does that predicts the demand is amazing. And as I said, right now we are closely going for the interview. You find that the demand for jackets, yeah. It's also the demand for the same sweaters or jackets for summer time almost no demand. Almost. Because during this time, there is gradually slowly the demand. And this industry going for years. And the AI system, which probably is looking into all their data and find out what exactly kind of practice is doing. And then based on the customer traffic, it will tell that what kind of habit that is there is benefit for both the retailer as well as the company. So it solves the problem of why 20 to 30% actually marketing cost, 20 to 30%, 60% is the stock out. You don't want to be a customer which goes to a shop looking out for some item and the shop owner says that sorry, this particular item is out of stock, right? It basically has the customer loyalty, the customer attitude towards this particular process. Stock out within that the lot of important on this side. Improve the cash flow because we exactly know which items will be demand, what kind of demand will be there, it can improve the cash flow, and it can also optimize the warehouse. Know that which items are get sold, which items will not get sold, not so your warehouse also will optimize everything. And those kind of impacts that can have the product availability, use waiting time, which products per this, waiting time, these are of the impacts that yes, and the skills which will be required are some of the things are one of them you have to have engineering, economics, right? Even in finance, I must have heard of this forecasting algorithm. About the skills. So how can the scientific modeling, understanding of transfer pricing, domain, SQL, database management, something up to the these are probably some of the systems that you require in order to on this order. Micro services, so what I'll do is requirement pick up pause out here, right? We'll continue with the thesis, but let's do one thing. Let's use AI. One of these particular we spoke about influence, we spoke about particular things like basic maintenance. Let's see that how AI can help us in solving problems. There is a lot of buzz around AI will keep my job, AI will keep my job, whether will leave the company, innocent or not. See, if your job is the initial kind of a choice, right? There are chances that AI will pick up your choice. If you are able to do AI effectively, so with two with your the with the AI, there are two things that you need to do. I don't know one time. One thing is that either you learn how to work with AI or you know how to speak with AI. Either of this most skills are something that we differently. And if you don't do this, unfortunately, the way the markets are moving, yeah, if you're not to the market, there's chances that your job itself might be taken away. Right? So we just let me take a pause out here. Right? I'm sure that you have a actual product in your house. So let's open that file or again. Make sure that you are not onto your email or so. So on the chat, I have, please make sure that you are logged on to your Google account and then go to this particular link. Also something called as user. You can also use a Gemini, but this was Gemini, and then other one we are going to use is Claude. I'm going to use both of the systems interchangeably to install my. So let me give you the link for Keeper also. Gemini and Claude. Right? These are the tools that we AI, ChatGPT, which can be open up the two. If you have a Gmail account, then first download your Gmail and then probably open up. So this will eliminate this will for Claude, if you're not getting the amount of Claude, you can quickly sign up for an account. It is very difficult. It is not assuming that if everyone has started Gemini or Claude, let's probably debate start. I'll share my screen. My screen visible? Is my screen visible? My screen visible? What? Thank you so much. Okay. So here we were talking about example of the maintenance. So let's probably also the scenario where we have to create kind of a model process. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll ask Gemini, so hello Gemini, let me understand this spreading the entire use which perform by I I I'll give you a simple prompt that just help me understand this. So your topic working the organization. What happens is that no manager. They are probably in mind that we are probably they also give to probably consider. And by the way, this time what will happen is that they will also come faster or faster. So always have to be one step ahead. Okay. Earlier what used to happen in ourselves was that ourselves is the process. Right? We have to have a meeting where we were trying to understand that what kind of a challenge they are there. So, ask myself. So I'm saying that those many issues which can make happen in mind. Okay. Let me make it quite simply something that all of you will adopt. Okay. Let me share this here from penalty. So, so here is the information I want to I'm sure that many of you probably are not versed in this, but see, the first is some information. This information that I got very much. First is it saying that it is a engineer who let master. Tires and conditioner, tire pressure, tire speed, lead alert. Braking system issue, tire issue, battery, alternator, and additional things which is already. Well, talking of just a step, I can you can work with the same kind of time. We can put the same information which road as well. Already given what kind of problems that already have. No, thing is that the thing that the gadget has AI will solve my problem. So someone has talked about and if you're telling that it's a customer, you can have oil problems, battery issues, you can have timing problems, manual transmission, so many things. That's very good. Then, very point that what exactly is the problem that you're trying to solve. So here, we tell him that I am having a problem of over also there is some kind of noise, noise, rattling noise, coming from the can you identify the problem? The other, the problem. The thing of these are the problems for these cases of overtake the doctor. You see that already occurs given you all the possible that the police sensors can be there, thermostat system there, and, and the quality water farm, body problem. So I feel the fact that I am getting uh, sweet, sweet out. There are also bubbles in the bullet and so yes, exactly now it pointed the problem that you have saying that the primary indicators which here probably the police over was well and then it is giving national transfer white it was white organic oil of the in this body lots of bullets in over the rest of so so I am getting uh, lots of our also for teaching is homework and main point is problem. Now, saying that there is almost a certainty that they gonna face the that. When you exactly have the information, you know what is the problem. It is also given you how kind of a cost effect. Industry job will cost you $50,000 to $60,000. Actual parts, things on private cars, comfort, rewards, you as a customer, even before you are to in service station, from the guidelines, what also is the test. So teaching problem because you are of my service station. Earlier, what was the service station was being able that if you have a hundred problems, you would have probably eliminated the problem or 10 or 15 of the problems and they will handle over and big variable. Now, now, when you have potentially got an idea like of what the problem is and what can be the solution. So this person at the other hand side, so he or she can't teach you can't teach you. So here, here's a knowledgeable customer who has knowledge around this particular case, who knows what the problem is. So there is no hard mind, no hard what exactly are what problem is. And you also have come up with a potential solution. What is the solution? Whether the solution that your progress requires are being two is that here solution has what was the other solution that we have given. And what are the evidences are the evidences of problem and the solution that will be given. This time, in the whole process, what happens is that this thing gets much more. Now, these are talking about that predicted solution. You can ask that, okay, sir, that, okay, how, okay, this helps me. So this is, that's me. That will lead me. That's what I can't keep, I can't keep, I can't keep. Now, you can see the team has analyzed that the car is working. There is some on the percentage of the spirit, even the smell count is there. Bubbles forming. So how about a situation where all the things would be automatically analyzed? For example, bubbles getting formed. So there is a very here called the machine vision. Using this machine vision, you can exactly find that what kind of a features, what kind of a progress in just the visibility is having. It's like these days what is happening is that having insurance companies, if you're having duty for free work, five or week, 5 days or 5 days. Right now, all you do is immediately just keep the gesture into the insurance company and it will be on station. So, maybe problem or problem. It becomes so we have required. If there is some kind of a legal problem, they will probably ask you to have a video and upload it to the internet. And they will exactly make sure that all the points of the students, whereby they will contribute to the value insurance, the value better over the going back to the card saying that basically the step, that is immediately get where or there's a leakage or its proportional factor. This is a thermostatic card. It can record that let's set up a average right signal is having only different. And when it pass on all the information that it has to say, so right now we were approaching triggers as much information. So the matrix and the personality. So here is a matrix which is hard, which is exactly same thing. Today, these are the problems which has having. These are my symptoms. Right? This is the kind of aberration that are not getting. Does he understand the and exactly all the talents which have that the time. This is the because automatically and all of us read when it was hard and it the capability of conversation feature. The hard will probably talk to the and think these are the problems which are facing and which is problems immediately to the garage. Others I might function. Our body we are getting better by doing like sudden you know, so you can do this, as the owner, not the human user, but also make complex. It is how the cases. Where complicated. For example, let's say grammar thing which is actually because you radar. How is this thing? All of a sudden, there is something of overriding and then you can replace the word with you. For example, if you have a fever, who tells the doctor, I'm having this fever. The doctor will baptize and give you some spectrum. If you can't make the incredibly, I think I'm getting a blanket for the last 7 months. If I check the manage really hard, the manage is also fine. And it costs. It indicates that the I have to exploit the environment. Taking of mechanic, which is look into this. You can topic control. These are the problems that we have. I make sure that I mistake so that I can add my impact of the audio. That is the kind of conversation, but God is problem. Even before you start exposure, the lifetime of the client is happy. Why? Because I have interact properly. Even before many years ago, pressure. This is not a good one. If you are a company that uses this AI feature for cameras, you are becoming the power having what to learn. The sun to the system. Why? Because the legal love, they are actually problem. Always, obviously, that is the operation. This is another example. Case on it. So, first, let me go back to the very forget that just ask you that so forget the head correct person. So let me call one question. Like, like, manager, manager, short road. You are fast and smart. Right now, the proper to see customers or good back from your store without sound. Okay. Okay. Like, 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 So here's the problem exactly. Alright, right. So let me also here's the problem. And everyone can probably try to solve problem. So let's here's the problem. Here's the problem. So here what you would have to tell them that stop shortage, also stop the delay, right? And exactly includes that right the customer. So as a manager, planning, and you probably had more coffee. Okay, the first coffee, or kind of get marketing stuff over. But here, I already given you all the other things to the system. Always complicated. Kind of like network, stuff, when customers are very interested, highlighting all their to get corporate. Okay, so that's what the place. So, but only understanding that the customer is also the business talking. Also having connection aspect channels with the office. So, let us focus on I as a manager found out that there is a higher demand for ice cream and we are sold out, all in my one of the issues. issues, issues. Yes, here is you. Already found the one job and here is wages for the many other position. Because the investigation the supplier, and supplier, optimize already. It is staff management, optimizing customer, right? All of this information is already that that already knows. Some of my suppliers are also equality in the delivery. What kind of requirement the day is a something I can look into? Okay. What kind of think I can do kind of all have audit also so but this I have which may be produced from this kind or kind kind technology usually needs like order for concrete. So these are some of the delivery of the point of the exit, return rate, responsiveness. What for response time is running, second machine will make a timer will have that. It is also given you the orders like more diversify the supply base, maybe more problem case, right? Implement supply of the prices, consider oil exports to offset the effect of that. And these are the teams, delivery teams, using the vendors, open ground, this kind of a system. You don't have to fix it with any problem. You know the problem, then we can define the problem, we find out the source of all these problems, and you come up with solutions for the same of the same. That we are having that law of occurs. You know why we have customers probably never stop sign. So they just the data, whether it is supplier, the supplier was doing it. And he was not doing anything about it. So someone who knew of the supplier, I thought talking about order making supplier. So that they have not done it, they have. These are the reasons why anybody who it happens. So also the cases, technology can already you just put in something about it, and let president that might happen. That may also start. Which are technically efficiency and self cognitive everything. So that's how jobs. Yeah. Jobs like Alice, right? Or thing of the people who are alive who are active. And at the end of the day, either you go in, make up, and serious conditions may come. They don't want people cover the activity right? They don't want this problem for the who's wrong with that? Which way off my head? Time record so time. Right now, organized five to five. So, can also by the or by the management skills, negotiation skills, organization skills. These are the ones. Talking about go back to my we're talking about what the but mention is like talking about maybe before something about the mind of the I think thought the fact that the global banking therefore I will find the progress and the law happen. Laws and then there's some legal code, right? Online the bank,
So that's the mic.
those are teaching that using AI already as a 50% reduction I don't have
I get more and more customer trust. So enhanced customer trust is there. The operational costs that gets reduced tremendously and improved regulatory compliance, right? Because when you say, let's say for India, SEBI is the regulatory body. For the customer, they will feel much more secure while doing transactions, knowing that the bank has taken all the means possible through its system, AI systems, which is monitoring all these transactions for any kind of fraudulent behavior, protecting the assets, and some kind of a seamless experiences what is happening. And if I look at the skills required, first, anomaly detection algorithms. These are also some kind of a machine learning algorithms which happens. Real-time data processing, right? Financial domain expertise. So domain expertise is very important. Cybersecurity knowledge and some kind of a deep learning techniques which are also being used in the financial domain. In the final use case I'll talk about is this energy demand response prediction, right? So energy, right, as when most of the world, right, it is seeing a surge in the human population, more and more energy is required. That is from one side. Two is, as and when we adopt all these AI systems requires electricity to run. So this global energy market right now is valued at $8 trillion, $8 trillion. And sometimes if I don't handle the entire energy bank properly, I might end up losing money in the process. So the use case which we are going to talk about is that the demand forecast for the energy and managing the grid load. So once again, the business values which you can get from it is that 15% reduction in the power distribution losses, reducing the maintenance cost by doing a predictive maintenance, improving the grid stability for both the human life as well as the customer reliability. If I talk about the customer impacts, lowering the cost of the energy because you are optimally you are using the energy, you are not making any kind of a wastage, so my energy cost will go down. There'll be fewer outages even during peak summers, right? If I can predict that, okay, this is the kind of a load which will come on my energy grid during the summertime, because most of the people, they are probably using the air conditioned machines. So obviously I'll have fewer outages, right? Good energy usage and better service reliability. And these are the required skills, some kind of a forecasting techniques, power systems engineering, grid optimization algorithms, big data processing, and analysis of the energy market. Okay, I had this one last one, which is the crop yield production. Just give me a moment, I'll take some water. Just a moment. Okay, sorry for that. I just coping with some bad cold. So crop yield production, right? So AI for agriculture, that is not yet with something which India is up to the mark, but some of the European countries, particularly places like Spain, they have been doing a lot in this particular field. So agriculture, if you see global, it's a $5 trillion industry, $5 trillion, where things like sustainable farming, food security, right, maintaining of the source of the food, all those things are being monitored. And what AI does in this particular case is that it to predict the crop yield based on the soil, based on the amount of rainfall, weather, and helping the farmers optimize all these production processes. So once again, the business value is 20% increase in crop yields. So if your crop yield goes up by 20%, imagine that how many extra people you'll be able to feed. 20% increase is a lot. It's a lot of increase, right? Reduce the resource wastage, right? Optimize the fertilizer user and better planning capabilities. So all this inflation kind of things which we talk about, right? Things of prices going up. So this kind of a things can be effectively reduced if you use AI for agriculture. For the customer, they can get a stable food price without much inflation, without much variability, higher quality of product you'll get, reduce the impact on the environment, and some kind of a sustainable farming is what you get. So once again, the required skills out here are the agriculture domain knowledge, environment knowledge, satellite image processing, which by the way is a part of something called as a deep learning, machine learning models for agriculture with a data analysis, right? So these are probably some of the things. I'm not going to talk about the insurance risk assessment, right? I think we already spoke a lot about use cases. We are running short of time. So coming to the skills, right? Some of the skills, they are obviously technical in nature, but not everything, right? So in fact, right, when it comes to skill, learning skill, right? This is something which all of you should know. In this particular age where you are living, just because you have completed a college degree and you have got a job does not mean that you can just probably sit back and rest on your laurels for the rest of your life. In this particular age, a illiterate person is someone who probably has not been continuously upgrading himself or herself. So in this particular era, continuously you have to unlearn and then relearn, unlearn, relearn. Newer kind of things are continuously coming up. And if you don't cope up with those newer things, what will happen is that eventually someone will probably take up your job. And if your job is something which is of a repeatable kind of nature, without too much of a complexity, definitely AI will take up your job. Right? So you have to be continuously up on your toes to keep on learning. And as I said, that what to learn, very simple. Either you learn to work with the AI systems or you learn how to train these AI systems. It does not matter that which field you are into. Training the AI systems probably will require some kind of engineering knowledge, right? Some kind of a programming skills. But working with AI systems is something which each and every one of you should try doing. It does not matter what kind of a background you are having. You might be someone who's from a legal background. You might be someone who's from probably, let's say, a literature background, fine arts, right? Engineering, we have already said, economics, finance, every field, there is some or the other application of AI. Make sure that you start working with these AI systems. So data skills, if you talk about the first thing which you need to do is that what exactly have happened, right? Irrespective of whatever job you are into, whenever there is a problem, the first question you have to face is that what exactly has happened. And this comes under something called as descriptive analytics, where you describe the as is situation. So one kind of a description can be a verbal description. One kind of a description can be that you tell the problem through email. The other kind of description is where you have all the data behind the problem and you can visually show that why this particular problem happened, which basically takes us to something called as diagnostic analysis. Then a little higher up is something called as predictive analytics, where you can predict that what is going to happen in the future. So this is where all your forecasting algorithms, machine learning comes in. And the final one is where the AI takes up is that prescriptive analytics. That how can we make it happen? I'm looking at a 20% increase in, let's say, my agriculture production. What all things should I look into? Which all pain points I should address so that I can get this boost? My energy bills in home are continuously getting higher and higher by the day. Where should I focus on so that I can find out or detect that where are the problems, why I'm getting a higher energy bill, and how I can plug in those particular gaps, right? So let me just typically data science, if you talk about, right, as a field, because if you want to be in this AI field from the point of view of, let's say, engineering the AI or creating this AI field, then you probably need to have some bit of knowledge about algorithms, analysis, programming, and some kind of a knowledge in problem solving, right? If you want to be the pure data science field. If you don't want to be there in the pure data science field, so data science field will typically end you having a data scientist kind of a role where you create these models, or the data engineers who probably will manage this entire data pipeline. But for people who are not interested in either of the two, neither the mathematics part nor the engineering part, you can very well work as data analyst, where all your job would probably be to understand problems from both the sides, from the customer side, from the business side, and then trying to find out some kind of a optimal solution in the two. And this optimal solution, as I said, always does not need you to use technology or does not need you to create models. You can put it on the data scientist or the data engineer. What you can do is that you can give an accurate description of the problem to a system like a Gemini, or let's say a Claude, which I have just shown you. Find out that where all these business problems could have come down. Use your knowledge with the people, with the systems to get more information. Feed this more information to intelligent AI systems like this. Pinpoint the problem and go to the management with solution. So all you need to do is probably hone your problem solving skill. That's what you need to do. So yeah, last few things, right? So if I talk about the application of data science, all the fields, right? I spoke about the financial services, retail services, healthcare services, manufacturing. I just took one case study. There are so many use cases which you can probably solve in each of these fields. And by the way, some people probably just, gets one lifetime to work on one problem. Say, for example, let's take up the retail field. Performance analysis of the different products, performance analysis of your vendors, performance analysis of your customers. If you're doing this particular kind of job, that will probably take your entire lifetime, and you'll never stop learning, and never you'll stop getting newer insights. For example, financial services, right? Pricing and risk analytics, continuously coming up with new products, newer pricing, managing customer risks, right? This kind of a job can never probably lose its charm. But whatever you do, critical thinking, communication, creativity, analysis, so these are something that you have to constantly hone. If you have this kind of a skills, as I said, that people, if you would like to go to the technical part, fine, you probably will require technical skills, right? Programming skills, modeling skills, mathematics skills, right? So that is one part. But for all the other people, right? As long as if you have the basic skills like communication, open-mindedness, eagerness to learn, analysis, creativity, there will be something or the other, a rich career for you in the area of AI, if you are able to use the AI properly, right? So few cases of deep learning I'll probably talk about, and then we will call it a day. So deep learning, I mentioned, right? That is the next big frontier, right? It's already making quite a lot of impact. So see this one, object detection. So systems like deep learning, it is actually helping the blind give some kind of a vision, right? Go to YouTube, go for Microsoft Goggles. So this Microsoft Goggles, it's a project which is being done and delivered by people who have vision impairedness. So what they have done is that they have put the smart goggles, and the smart goggles exactly has this detection capability. And it is creating a narrative from it, that here on the street, I can see an elephant which is playing a football, and there is a mahout with a red shirt on top of it. All of a sudden, you see that the life of this visually impaired person becomes colorful. See this one, image captioning, right? With this kind of a goggles, you're looking at, it gives the narration that I can see a black and white dog jumping over the bar, right? You can probably hear the dog barking, this particular person, visually impaired person. And here, this glass, it's telling that here I can see a black and white dog jumping over the bar. As I say, that all of a sudden, right, the things comes into full life for this kind of people. Other examples, you find that a lot of black and white movies these days, they are converted to this colored movies. Each second of a movie, it contains like some 30 images. So which means, let's say a 3 hour movie, it will have several thousands of images. Doing it coloring one by one is a very, very tedious task. Machine learning, deep learning can just do it like this. Translating image from text. So here you can see on the left hand side, you have this mock chocolate Excel cookies, right? And the AI system can do an exact replication in English, right? Without human intervention. So again, we can go on talking about this particular field. See, this particular field, I've almost spent my entire life on this. These days, robots and everything, there are also a lot of applications, autonomous robots and everything. So I'll probably end with so things like this, like soldiers in Afghanistan being trained how to defuse a landmine using a PACBot. So landmines, it's a big problem in Afghanistan, you know that, right? And if you are having a human trying to defuse it, sometimes if the bomb just blows up, the human life is at stake. So these are the cases where AI is probably, AI bots, they are actually taking all the risk and preserving the human life, right? Military suit, I'm sure that many of you are fans of all these Marvel movies, right? So things like those Iron Man kind of suits, right? AI bot, AI empowered suits, already the government is working on them, right? It's marvelous. And finally, one of my favorite movies, right? Do you know the name of this particular movie? Wall-E, right? It's a, I think, Oscar-winning movie from the Pixar Studios, Walt Disney and Pixar Studios, right? That's also an AI bot which tries to thrive in a hostile environment, and there is a beautiful love story between machines, right? Wonderful movie. If you have not seen it, you'll probably take time to see it once. Fine. I think it's already 5, right? I'll stop my presentation here. I'm open for any kind of a questions that you are having, right? I'll be happy to answer your questions. Any questions that you are having with respect to AI, data science, AI laws, future of cybersecurity, whatsoever, I'm open for your questions. So stop the sharing of the screen. So Shantam, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think if you would like to engage with the students, you can do so. I'm done for my part, right? Any questions, if you're having, you can type on the chat box, or you can raise your hand. I can unmute you and I can probably take your questions. Yeah, questions? Questions from anyone? So no questions is a very tricky situation, which means that either you have understood everything, right, which is less likely, or probably again, you have not found it very interesting, which can also be a case. But yeah, questions, anyone?
Hi, Professor. I do not have that raise hand signal, but still I have a question. Can I ask?
Please, please.
Yes. So for ChatGPT or say Gemini, right?
Right.
Say I want to, it's not about like I'm conversing with the system. I'm not conversing with system. A system is conversing with the system. So in that kind of scenario, I just wanted to give it a lead. Say, United States healthcare system, or say auto manufacturing system, right? So I wanted to give some kind of help ahead of my system is working with the ChatGPT or Gemini. So is that possible? Because otherwise it will be very generic.
So I think the case which I spoke about, let's say for the predictive maintenance, That is exactly the case where I said that where the machine can converse with the machine. So here is you as a user, without even your knowledge, the sensors in the machine is sending a signal to the AI system saying that I am not well. The sensor is saying that, okay, I am overheating, right? Or probably there is some kind of a low level of the coolant which is out there. It is already telling the AI system. AI system is already analyzing the situation and coming up with some kind of a solution for the same. See, ultimately, scientists, they are also working on self-healing kind of a machines, whereby the machine itself will send signal, AI system will diagnose the problem, give the solution, and the machine itself will implement the solution. But I think we are still probably a few decades away from that particular system. But the other one, which you're probably already trying to say, that is already some kind of a reality where you're not probably getting to know what the problem is. The machine is approaching you with the problem that it is having and also the solution that what you should be doing with that machine. We are already in that particular age. I hope I answered your question, or probably it was something different.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. You know, the reason is like um, any kind of LLM, it finds data from like large amount of data that Google holds, or any Yahoo or any kind of online system.
Right.
But I just wanted to be very specific. If this is like a healthcare related question, I may fetch data from like golden standard of American medicines, for example, or Indian medicines. If it is like card manufacturing kind of situation, that kind of scenario, I wanted to be very specific. So if I can give that lead, I think like any kind of LLM will give better results.
So it's not only that the LLM will give better results, it's also what is happening, as you rightly said, that these systems, they're also talking amongst each other. Say, for example, let's say YouTube is there, right? So YouTube, you have all these videos. Now, Gemini, which is a Google product, is using these videos, right, which are being created by humans like you and me to learn more about what is going on, to understand problems, and to also understand that what kind of a solutions can be created from it. So machine to machine in the conversation, that's also something which is a very interesting area, which is happening right now. Okay.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay. So here's a question which is there, which is how would you approach designing an AI model to predict customer churn for a retail business given limited customer data? What specific data points would you prioritize and how would you address data limitation? Okay. See, let's probably understand one thing. So in this particular age, which we are in right now, all these AI models, LLM models, whatever you are saying, right? They have already been democratized. You go to ChatGPT, you ask ChatGPT that, okay, create a forecasting model for me based on this parameters. It will exactly give you the code. And you tell that, okay, I want the code in Java, C, C++, Python. It will give you the code in exactly that particular language. If you give the data, it will solve the problem for you also. So today, this models, AI models, they are probably not something which is a secret sauce anymore. The secret sauce to any business today is the data. And see, data is very different from each other. So just to give you a very trivial example. So let's say if you are having a twin brother, let's say, and let's say you got a fracture on the leg or some kind of a problem on the leg. Do you send your twin brother to the doctor saying that, okay, you and I, right, we have the same genes, right, same kind of a physiology. So you go and visit the doctor, right? The doctor will give some solution. That solution will work for me. Doesn't happen like that, right? So today, data is the intellectual property. If you have the right data, then you can create the right AI model to solve your problems. If you have improper data, the model will also not work right. Now, having said that, the problem which you have said is that the customer data itself is very limited. Now your model will be as good as the data which you feed to it. If you're saying that you're given a limited customer data, I think we can use some kind of a models which can solve, uh, create your decisions based on small data. Say, for example, your probabilistic models like those of a Naive Bayes, they can work on limited data. That is possible. The other way to work on this kind of a situation is whereby you can probably oversample the limited data, right? You can do some kind of a oversampling so that it creates more and more data points. But always do things like oversampling or undersampling with some bit of caution, because you are actually creating some kind of a artificial data which might not truly resonate with what the real life behavior or real life situation is. I'll put it like that. Hope I've been able to answer your question. Okay. Yeah. Any further question from anyone? So Ishita is having a question. So Ishita is saying, as a student interested in both AI and business intelligence, what type of interdisciplinary projects could help build my skills in both areas? So see, AI, Ishita, is the broader domain. Under AI, you have things like business analysis, business intelligence, statistics, machine learning. Everything is under that. So business intelligence or BI, as you are saying, it is probably a subpart, right, in the AI system itself. And if you're talking about interdisciplinary projects, right, see, what kind of a projects will help build your skill also depends on what kind of a job role you probably would want to take up. If you're someone who's interested, let's say, in modeling, in analysis, in creating models, then you should definitely take up some courses in, in topics like advanced statistics, advanced machine learning, and create projects accordingly. If you would like to be in the business intelligence space, I think if you can just work with systems like, let's say, Tableau or Power BI, which are true BI software, and create dashboards and create narratives around the data, that should be good enough. So it depends on what kind of a job role finally you are looking at and what kind of interest you are having. If you're having the interest today in today's world, right, the world where like learning has been democratized, AI has been democratized, right? Anything can be learned, right? Learning is not a challenge these days, right? So Ishita, I hope I answered your question. Okay. Any other question from anyone? I'll take maximum 2 more questions and then we'll call it a day. Any questions from anyone? Any questions from anyone? Okay. So Shantam, I'm not getting further question. Yeah. Is there someone was saying something? Okay. Any questions? Any further questions? Anyone? No? Okay. So Shantam, Shantam is basically our campus relationships manager, right? So Shantam, I hand over the session to you. So now you can take over. So learners, all the people who are there in the session today, right? I thank you so much for being in the session, right? This particular area is the area of passion for me, right? If you need any kind of a direction, any kind of a help with this, right? Please feel free to get in touch with me, right? So I'll just put my email ID, and then Shantam is there who handles the campus relationships. So yeah, you can reach out to me through Shantam as well. And anything, as I said, which you have, I'll be happy to guide you, direct you in this particular field, right? Anyone who probably would be interested in having a career. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Right. So can you see my screen currently? Thank you, Saurav sir. Right. So this is a WhatsApp group that we have created. if you liked what you just heard and you're wanting to learn more about what Sir said, and so we will keep you updated on the latest technologies and the developments which is happening in the industry. This is a WhatsApp group that we have created. So guys, if you're interested, you can just join on this group. If you're scanning this QR code, you'll be joining the group, and we'll keep you up to date. We'll post once or twice a week, where we'll give you the latest updates, the cheat sheets, and all the latest developments on AI. So you can just scan it and join the group.
So Shantam, I'll leave you to the audience, right?
Yeah.
So as I said, thank you everyone, right? Have a great career, great day. But as I said, that please, right, whatever field you are into, right, make sure that you either know how to work with AI or you know that how to train AI. Otherwise, you might be at a risk of losing your jobs to AI, right? Not to scare you, but this is the reality. I wish all of you, the best of career, right? Great days ahead and the best of health. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.